This year we decided to do something unusual. We traveled to Scotland with an oldtimer, my Mercedes W123. We crossed the North Sea from the Netherlands to England by ferry, and we landed in Newcastle, from where we've taken the northwest direction towards Scottish borders. I need to say I had concerns if a 45 years old car would manage to climb all the hills. But in the end all worked out well. I avoided all fast routes and we stayed with the tourist sightseeing A and B roads. These were very suitable for a pleasurable cruise with moderate speeds. Edinburgh was the first stop on our route, but also a challenge to stay away from the clean emission zone. We avoided approaching city centre and stayed at the feet of Holyrood Hill, which we of course had to climb. The hill is in the middle of the city. Its peak has a peculiar name of St Arthur's Seat and offers great city and bay views. The next stop, Trossachs. It's actually a picturesque area stretching between Glasgow, Stirling and Edinburgh. I used to visit that area often when I lived in Glasgow. Now we are in Callander, a tourist centre of the area. Of course you can find there a Scottish wool centre and really nice coffee shops offering pudding, fudge or ice cream. And now one of my favorite bits, the road to Aberfoyle, called Moonwalk Drive. It crosses lovely nature area as a pleasurable thing for a driver. It has many sudden drops and climbs, lefts and rights, and sudden sharp turns. One would say that the snake would twist its own spine on it. This is a must-see place when you go from Glasgow to Highlands, my favorite beauty spot of Loch Lomond. It's one of those magic places, no wind and lake surface like a mirror, absolutely quiet. I always stopped here in Tarbet on junction of A82 and A83 and watched the landscape, wondering if I should go A83 towards Inverary Castle or A82 towards Cranlandry. True Highland starts around Glencoe. Here we have vast space of wild glen valley surrounded by bare mountains. It is all year round wet and soggy, so that hill walking is always a challenge, not to leave your shoe in the mud. I've been in this area many times and it always had been drizzly, so was it also this time. And yes, before returning back to oldtimer, hill walking shoes must have been off. Spanbridge is located on the high plateau of Grand Caledonian Canal. In good weather you can see from here stretch of Ben Nevis, the highest mountain of Great Britain. It is also a good starting point to explore lochs of Caledonian Canal and famous Loch Ness. We cross Grampians through Aviemore and Groundtown on Spey, climbing around 600-meter high skiing passes, which was a really steep climb for an old-timer. In Aberdeenshire there are so many interesting castles, ruins and nice residences, worth visiting for sure. Many of them are inherited from generation to generation and often with some gloomy stories across the centuries. Fyvie Castle has one of those stories. Many years ago, one of the first owners was unhappily married and really wanted to marry another woman, So he came up to a plot to prison his wife in a castle dungeons, where she died suffering hunger. It is said that she set then a curse to the castle and its owners. And the curse was that there would never be any male descendant in the families owning the castle. And indeed, 4 families over 500 years did not have sons but daughters. Even the last family did not have a boy until they decided to give a castle to Royal Trust of Scotland in management, while keeping grounds as family property. Fraser Castle is a must-see. It is a typical example of residential building that has nothing to do with any sort of defense character, but solemnly has to impress visitors. Many such properties have a very long, magnificent driveway alley stretching in here for 1 mile, allowing you to see the growing residence as you approach to it. Creeth Castle has magnificent park with very interesting garden full of well looked after trees of normal and special kind, many of them groomed in funny shapes. Yet for me the most impressive were tall sequoias. I'm betting some of them were 80 meters high and easily few hundred years old, with a ginormous big circumference of its core. All these castles that used to be residences have some history of extension building. Drum Castle has actually old defensive tower, and further on many pieces constructed decades and hundreds years later. Inside it's a maze of corridors and corners, secret passages and small curly staircases. One would wonder if that would be actually comfortable to live in. And here the last castle on our journey, Dunnottar Castle, located on a cliff rock, one of the iconic views of Aberdeenshire. You can spot it on some of the native Microsoft Bing screen wallpapers. If you get in there in high sea, you may not be able to go back to the land until the storm passes. On the way back to England, we stopped in St Andrews. Yes, this famous place of the oldest Scottish university, where several members of Windsor royal family used to study. Summarizing, Scotland has as usually been beautiful by its nature and castles, and moody by its weather as usual. I could not resist comparing this country from 15 years ago and now, and my conclusion is that not much has changed, if at all. Traditions are kept, yet it feels around like lacking some prosperity vibe, and I have my hypothesis why.